Hello all, welcome to the Traffic Analysis TSHARK Unleashed course at Pentester Academy. My name is Vivek Ramachandran and I am going to be the chief instructor for this course. So let's get started. Now in this video, we are going to look at the course introduction and the quick lab setup. Okay, so what is this course really all about? Now most of us have used Wireshark in some shape or form, and we know that it is a packet analyzer capable of allowing us to analyze different packets which we are actually capturing live or via an offline PCAP file. Now Wireshark is great for microscopic analysis, right? We can put our filters in and then drill down to exactly what we want to see. Now, however, when you start using Wireshark with very large PCAP files and are looking for anomalies or patterns, if you've probably been there, you know it's almost impossible to achieve. Now, this is really where TSHARK can be of a lot of help. Now, TSHARK is a companion utility, and some of you may have used TSHARK to go ahead, capture, look at very simple, exercises. But TSHARK is actually very, very powerful. I mean, it uses, of course, the same parsing engine as Wireshark, and it supports almost all the features that the GUI Wireshark supports as well. Unfortunately, TSHARK, at least in my humble opinion, has always been a bit underutilized. And this is really where hopefully this training will show you how powerful TSHARK is. So what do I want to achieve in this training? So the idea is to run you through the quick basics of TSHARK and jump into how we can automate different tasks using TSHARK. Now this of course includes parsing packets, filtering, decoding, extracting different fields and storing them into files. This is very interesting because we'll be looking at multiple fields and see how all of that can actually be put through other utilities available on Linux systems to create interesting summaries. Now, apart from that, we'll also look at exporting results, a couple of tips and tricks, looking at how we can pipeline this with other tools, and then of course, our hot favorite as always is automating TSHARK using Python. Now, this has been a team effort, especially collection of the PCAP files and trying out different early demos, and team members include Nishant, Ashish and Jeswin from the Pentester Academy team. Okay, so let's get started. Now, Wireshark and TSHARK of course are multi-platform and you are free to use any platform you like. The one I'm going to be using for the class is Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. And I'm actually going to install the latest version of Wireshark and TSHARK using basically a repository given out by the Wireshark guys, right? So I'm not going to use the default apt update one. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I have my VM already up and running, and as I mentioned, this is an Ubuntu 18.04. You could do a base install, download and do it. I have skipped the installation simply because, it is quite trivial and I've covered this more than once in other video series. So I'm going to open up a new terminal. And the first thing I'm going to do is a quick sudo apt update just to show you that the default Ubuntu repository actually has a much older version of Wireshark. And generally we'd like to use the latest and greatest. Okay, now in order to look at the version of Wireshark available in Ubuntu's repositories, we could run the command sudo apt cache Madison Wireshark. And we see the version is 2451, and then also run TSHARK again, it's the same version. Now if you were to browse and look at Wireshark's official website, we actually see that we already have a stable version of 261, which was released, I think, fairly recently, right? May 22, 2018. Now, if you are watching this video at a later time, maybe a year or two later, know that most of the features I'm covering is going to be in there. And we would, of course, add other interesting new features if anything, came along the way and is useful to us. So do not panic. If you're in 2019, this isn't obsolete, right? That's the most common question we get. Uh, Actually, most of the commands I'm going to show you probably were there in TSHARK, as old as 4 to 5 years back. So, okay. So as we clearly see that, this is an older version which is there in Ubuntu's repo. So what we are going to do is go ahead and pull the latest version of Wireshark from the Wireshark dev stable repository. Now to do that, we are going to add that repository to Ubuntu and then do an apt update so that we can pull all package information from that repo and then install the latest version of Wireshark and TSHARK. I would highly recommend this, simply because, they've already done the hard job of doing the whole compilation, right? So could we compile Wireshark and TSHARK as well? Absolutely. The only, I would actually say, issue I take to compiling is it's very painful to kind of keep maintaining stuff, as newer releases come in. Okay, so quick command sudo add apt repository. So I'm going to put this in sudo. We basically have add apt repository and then the repo name, which is ppa Wireshark dev stable. So Wireshark dev stable. So let's add this repo. Now once we add the repo, what we're going to do is update using apt update, as I mentioned. And after that, let's actually check the two different versions of Wireshark available, because one is in the Ubuntu repo and the other is in the Wireshark dev stable repo. And after that, we can proceed to install Wireshark and TSHARK, right? The latest version gets installed automatically. Okay, so now if you were to run those two older commands, apt cache Madison TSHARK and then Wireshark, what you'd find is now 261 is actually available through the external repo Wireshark dev stable. Fantastic. So now let's proceed to install these. So I'm going to do a sudo apt install Wireshark TSHARK. There we go. Should probably take a minute or two. I'm absolutely sure you're going to love this course. This parts of this has been taught to a lot of students in classroom trainings which I've personally conducted, and every time I end up showing them some of these features and what you can do with TSHARK, they are simply surprised that they actually had so much of power, at their fingertips, but they didn't know that. Really kind of, always there, but you forgot to discover it and find out about it. So I'm going to install this now. It's already installing. Lib-Wireshark is of course the core library, and once this happens, we probably are going to get a pop-up if we want dump cap, which is actually the capture utility internally used by both Wireshark and TSHARK. So should non-super users be able to capture packets? Doesn't really matter, this is just a VM, but I'm going to go with the default options. And this should install Wireshark and TSHARK both for us. So once the installation is complete, let's verify. And that will be the end of this video. Okay. So now if you were to do a TSHARK-V, we actually see that version 261 has been installed. Similarly, if we searched for Wireshark, we'd see it. And again, I'm currently running this as a non-root user, but as you can clearly see, Wireshark is installed, no errors, no nothing, very good. Fantastic. So that's what I had in mind for this video. Hope you enjoyed this introduction and hope to see you in the next video where all the fun begins. Thank you and have a great day ahead.